man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. How was your summer? And can you take us into kind of your training, just what you tried to focus on ahead of this year?
The biggest thing for me was really working on just really relaxing at the same time. I feel like in the past I was sometimes I felt like I was overworking myself and putting a lot of extra pressures on myself. That was unnecessary. So I focused on one, being a student of the game, learning our whole defense ins and outs to where I'm confident, know everybody's position now. And then from that side, obviously just working on my health, injury prevention, things like that. So it was a really calm, quiet summer for me.
Hey Garrett, you've experienced a handful of camps. How does this one feel heading into this week, and does it feel any different for you?
It really doesn't get any different just because you know you're about to be practicing a lot for the next month. But if anything, the biggest thing I could say is I'm really excited, even though it's my fourth one. I think it's probably the most excited I am just because, it's my last year, so I have a lot of things I want to prove to myself, and I want to go hard for the team this whole camp and this whole season. So really just a lot of excitement.
We'll go back here, these two right here, Anthony and then Dean.
What's up, Garrett? Personally, do you have any specific goals that you've set for yourself prior to this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously making the all ACC teams, leading the conference in passes defended and pass breakups. And just being a leader for the team that helps us make a bowl game and win games. That's the biggest thing for me, though. Since I've been here, we haven't won as many games as I'd hoped. So I feel like with the guys we have in this team this year, there's no reason to not turn that around.
Right back in the alley.
Garrett, how you doing? If you're an opposing quarterback and you take a look at the Syracuse defense, you see you on one end and Deuce Chestnut on the other. Would you say you two are the best corner duo in the ACC?
Yeah, for sure.
Looking at where the defense was last year, this time compared to now, where have you guys grown, and what do you think has been the biggest improvement you've made?
I think just going, when you first, I want to start with the linebackers to the secondary. A lot of us, this is our third year starting together. So when you get to our defensive-led practice and things like that, everybody already knows what the other person's already doing, what the safety's doing with you, things like that. And then obviously the D-line, we have a lot of leaders with Caleb and Steve and T-Lock, bringing the young guys along as well. So I feel like just as a unit, there's a lot of cohesiveness. And especially with the schedule we have, that's going to pay off a lot. We got each other's back.
It's kind of interesting because you bring everyone but AC back who played last year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have 8 new guys. What's it like being a leader in that room? I guess what's kind of the energy?
It's really cool because one, we all like each other, so it's easy for us to all be around each other, and two, everybody wants to learn, and everybody wants to get better. So it's easy to tell somebody what they're doing wrong because nobody's going to take offense to it. In the same way I'm holding somebody else accountable, they're doing the same way for me. So we have a really good dynamic going on right now.
Yeah, Josh Crawford is obviously you're a heavy accolade player. You're one of the best returning defensive backs in the country. So with all these accolades, with all this talent you have right now, what did you focus on specifically on the field to improve to become a better player for the upcoming fall?
Just capitalizing on the balls in the air. For me, I feel like if I can create turnovers for the defense, I feel like that's going to not only help the defense, but the offense as well. Obviously, last year I had no picks, and that's the first time that's ever happened to me since I played corner. So obviously this season, I'm looking to turn that around because I know if I can get the ball back to the offense with the guys we have, it'll do a lot of good things for us.
Hey Garrett, just wondering what your reaction was when you found out Michael Jones was coming back, and just what you think makes him a good leader.
Me and him. Me and Michael, that's like my best friend, roommates, all that. So we talked a lot, even going up to it. So me and him, we already knew what each of us was doing before, everybody else kind of found out. And what makes Michael such a good leader is I think he's so personable with anybody. He can talk to the starters or walk on the same way, and everybody's going to give him the same respect. And he's just an easy guy to rally around. I think that's why everybody on the team loves him.
A couple more for him before we get to Sean, and we'll start with Steven.
So a lot of the offensive players talked about the new passing game that they're installing under Onai and how they thought it gave a little more flexibility. You have defended against the new offense a little bit in the spring, and the old offense. From a cornerback's perspective, what do you think about the passing game they're installing? And is it harder to defend, I guess, in some sense?
Yeah, I definitely think it's way harder to defend because one, it's constant pressure on your secondary where you never have time to chill. They could throw a go ball, you can come back and they'll run a double move right after. So things like that, they take advantage of those mismatches when they know somebody's tired or when they see a mismatch. They're not afraid to exploit that. And then also just with the receivers we have, I feel like they're putting them in the right positions that allow them to be great at what they do.
Sure. Last question for Garrett, if anybody's got it. Good? All right, thank you.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Sean? All right, questions for Sean? Who wants to lead us off? Stephen and Josh.
Dino has said in, I think, every preseason interview I've seen that you're better than last year. I understand that's probably the goal, but for people on the outside, it might kind of be hard to imagine. Do you feel you're better than last year? And if so, kind of what facets do you see that?
I feel that I'm definitely better coming into this season. Just working on my game, trying to get better at running, doing even better at that. I'm definitely working on more of a passing game, catching the ball, because our offense is implementing more passing to our running backs. And it's a lot more passing overall, so just getting down, practicing catching with the QBs, getting in sync. Definitely feel like I got better, though.
I was going to say, what was when you kind of found out about the new OC and I guess got your first idea of what that would entail more passing to running backs, what were kind of your thoughts? And after going through the spring, how did that experience kind of, I guess shape how you feel about being involved in the passing game?
I felt glad that we had more of a passing game coming into our offense. You know, the first 2 years, it wasn't really that much passing. I did more last year than I did my freshman year, but this upcoming season is definitely going to be way more.
Josh Crawford. Like I said, all the accolades you got preseason or last season, nobody else got time to ask a question. So I've heard that you're a soft-spoken guy. Just your demeanor tells me you care a lot more about team success than your own individual accolades. What is the expectation that Sean Tucker has for Sean Tucker next season and Syracuse football?
Well, for one, the team definitely we want to get a bowl game this season. Definitely go with a positive record. And for me personally, I would say definitely All-American again. Go deep in the Heisman race, go deep in the Doak Walker race, and definitely try to beat my all-time record last season.
Yeah, kind of following up on that, last week Syracuse launching the Sean Tucker for Heisman campaign. Just what are your thoughts on that campaign?
The campaign seems cool. I saw the video and my hashtag. It's definitely a good thing, and I like it a lot. So hopefully after the season, go deep in the race.
With Josh in front and Anthony.
Hey, Sean, I just wanted to go back to your experience running with the track team. Just wondering what some ways you see some benefits for football.
The benefits will be just getting better form, running faster, just practicing on my speed each and every day. When I went into races, competing with other guys that are faster than me, and just being in that environment of running fast, it helps me a lot on my football game.
Anthony and Steve.
Sean, I've heard a little bit about your liking toward halfback screens. Can you talk a little bit about what specifically you like about it? And you mentioned the new offense incorporating more passes, what you're looking forward to with that?
I would say like the first 2 years, those were basically like the go-to for us. This year coming up is definitely a lot of mixing different routes, deep routes, medium routes, short routes. So it's way more diverse this year.
Is it the open space that you feel more comfortable working?
Yes.
So last year, Garrett didn't start playing until like week 4, and then Elmore was obviously in and out of the lineup. So you guys, aside from the line, that are kind of the 3 big pieces in the running game. What do you think having continuity can do for you guys execution-wise this fall?
We got a lot of guys throughout the depth chart that are ready to play at any time. Having Rhino back, having Garrett back, our offense is definitely in sync, and we're definitely ready to go.
This is your second year, Sean, being really the go-to guy in this offense. How are you really stepping up and becoming more of a vocal leader this year within the offense with you and Garrett back?
I try to let my performance do the talking for the guys on the team. They see what I do in practice, off the field. I try to lead with my actions more than my talking.
A couple more for Sean, Samantha, we'll start.
You're obviously such a hardworking guy. I want to know, what's your source of motivation? Why are you so motivated?
I would definitely say it comes from my dad. He's always on me. He keeps his voice in my ear, trying to tell me, make me get better. And then me personally, just having that dream of one day being in the NFL, so that keeps me driven.
Last 2, we'll start with Stephen.
More passing probably means a little more pass pro. Is there anything in kind of that department that you're focused on fine-tuning?
Everything, honestly. I would say personally I wasn't the best at it first 2 years, but coming in this offseason and then fall camp coming up, it's definitely going to be like a point of emphasis for me.
Is it more about anticipating what's coming or kind of just executing?
I would say more just executing.
Last one, if anybody's got it, and we'll end it with Josh right in front.
Sean, what kind of dynamic does create both on and off the field with Garrett, with somebody at the QB position that's such a dynamic threat with their legs?
He brings a lot to the table with me and him in the backfield. You know, he can pass, he can run. I can catch. So it's definitely keeps the defense on their toes more this upcoming season.
All right, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Yep.
Right.